Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Sensei. Say what now? I'm your host, Nastasia Sensei, and today we're going to talk about something heavy, a little heavy. Our first story is about bullying in schools. So if you're not comfortable listening to this type of subject, just move forward to the second story, which will be a little bit more lighthearted. But the first story is pretty long and pretty heavy, just so y'all know. So the title is called How to Deal with the School Bully, and it's from r/Japan Life. So I'm just going to get into it. OP says, apologies for the long post. To start, our daughter, 6, started public school this year after finishing 4 years of daycare. In daycare, she had 0 issues. She loved all of her classmates and was great friends with everyone. 4 of her daycare friends also attend the same elementary school, and 3 are in her class. There are 3 first grade classes with 28 to 29 kids each. She's a little shy and soft-spoken, unless she's with her friends. Bilingual, extremely well-mannered, and kind. She has her quick quirks, like any kid, but behaviorally, she's been perfect. No concerns at all. The bully. About a month ago, she came home from school. My wife took her to the grocery store, and I was working at home. About 10 minutes later, I got an alert from our security cameras that someone was in our garage/parking area. Okay, that's a little weird. I checked the feed and saw a kid standing in the back corner of our garage looking around. Not totally unusual. Kids sometimes wander in. But this kid lingered longer than usual, messed with my daughter's bike, then walked to our door and pulled the handle a few times. Weird. Yo, what the fuck? But he had the yellow first grader hat, so I assumed he was a friend of my daughter's. I even thought he was a girl at first because of the long hair. Eventually, he left. Later, when my daughter came home, I asked her if she knew the kid. She looked shocked and said he was a boy from her class, but not a friend. A week or so later, at dinner, she mentions a classmate who returned after being absent for a few months. She said her class had a meeting about it, and this girl wasn't coming to school because someone was being mean to her. Concerning, but we talked as a family about what to do if someone is mean and moved on. Open school day. Another week passes, and we attend an open school day. The lesson that was, ironically, about bullying. The school seemed to take it seriously. At the end, kids asked questions and shared what they learned. One of the kids who stood up was the same kid from our garage. He talked about being nice and how words can hurt, etc. Then the teacher had parents break into groups. We were grouped with the parent of my daughter's daycare friend, great family, and the parents of this kid. The kid's parents spent the entire time talking about how great their son is and how he's super sweet, likes to joke around, etc. None of us could get more than a few words in. Okay, I don't know, that's a bit weird. So today, I'm working at home. Camera alert goes off again. My daughter is sitting outside on the steps. She has a key, so I went out to check on her. She said she was just thinking for a minute. I brought her inside, got her a snack, hung out, then went back to work. About 30 minutes later, my wife calls me upstairs, and she's furious. She is not someone who gets angry easily, so this was alarming. Our daughter then explains to me the best she can about the situation. So this kid has been bullying her and a few other girls, including the daycare friend whose parents we met. It's been going on for a while. And today he told our daughter she should off herself because she's too stupid to live? Are you freaking kidding me? What? These are children. These are like 6-year-olds. What the? Oh my God. Which upset me. It's upset me. Which upset her enough for her to finally tell us what's been happening. Wow. Oh my God. Where is this kid learning these words from? Like, unless their parents are speaking like this, they gotta be getting it from somewhere. I think it's YouTube. Maybe not. I don't know. Or TikTok. Jeez Louise. The girl was out for a few months and had to switch classes, his doing also. How are we this evil so young? Oh my goodness. Where were we? My wife lost her father, and our daughter lost her grandfather in September. We, of course, attended the funeral. It was a huge emotional event for all of us, especially our daughter, who is still too young to fully understand death. So, this kid saying that to her really bothered her. We are absolutely furious, both that this has been happening and that the school, despite all the talk during the open school day, has done nothing that we're aware of. Of course, they're not going to do nothing. Like, one thing that I've noticed, just generally speaking across the board, bullies are protected. And it's not until something dangerous or, like, truly awful happens is when they'll step in. But, yeah, just bullies are protected. And it's so frustrating. Anyways, we are absolutely furious, both that this has been happening and that... Oh, wait, I read that. My wife wrote a strongly worded note to the teacher for our daughter to take to school tomorrow and requested an immediate meeting. So, what we're unsure about, we want this to stop immediately. We don't care about apologies. We'll look into it. We want action. That part. Period. Point blank. My wife thinks we should file a police report. Ooh. And bring the video of the kid entering our garage and trying the door handle. I'm not sure whether we should go that far yet, but I'm not ruling it out. Oh yeah, that will be a choice for sure. I don't know about getting the police involved yet. But his threats, they're not even threat. They're just his horrible words. Oh my God. So OP says, looking for advice. How do we handle this correctly? What steps should we be taking with the schools, and should we involve the police? Is there anything we're missing? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. So, as somebody who doesn't have any children, but I work with kids, I guess you're doing what you can do is as far as reporting it to the children. Maybe have a talk with the parents just to see where the parents' head is at. But considering how they think this kid poops gold, I don't know how far that might take you. I don't know, but they really think that their child can do no wrong. But I feel like the next course would be to have a sit down with his parents, just so y'all can be on equal, just communicate with them, let them know what's going on before you bring in the police. That's what I think. So, that's my 2 cents. And take it with a grain of salt. So we have an update. So update/edit. Firstly, thank you all for the replies with the advice and encouragement. It's truly helpful. We were scrambling all morning, talking to different people and parents. All the parents we talked to were aware of this kid. We didn't mention anything specific or him by name, but instead just asking if they heard from their child of any mean or naughty kids in their class. One by one, they all mentioned the same kid. Some had bullying incidents, some just had their child complain about his behavior more generally. Apparently, he likes to throw things, kick, and make a scene in class, and the teacher's always mad at him. Ooh, something's going on at home. Something is going on at home, because the way this kid is acting out, look at the parents. Really look at the parents. Okay, I'm getting stressed out reading this. We went to our local Koban and spoke to the officers about what we should do. Koban is police station, just so y'all know. Whoever didn't know. They suggested we first wait to talk to the school and her teacher about the incident. We were able to file a report at any time for the bullying and trespassing, but they said it would be better to simply mention talking to them at first, and if needed, we can file a complaint/report later. Yeah, figured that much. We also spoke to my wife's mom/daughter's grandmother. Wife was bullied, so she knows the process. And she walked us through some steps she'd take. She mentioned going to the school board or the city department for child welfare anti-bullying, and if our city has one. Oh, that's what's up. If certain cities have that, that's amazing. Oh my God, I love that. She also said we need to be vigilant of possible retaliation, which according to her is fairly common in these situations. Pulling our daughter temporarily from school pulling our daughter temporarily from after-school childcare and walking her to and from school to make sure this kid doesn't approach her outside school, and not going directly to the parents before we've contacted and spoken with all the proper authorities with this to deal with this. Oh. Well, I guess that's one way to deal with it. Talk to everybody except for the problem, the root of the problem, I guess. Her point was the parents are most likely aware of his behavior and choose not to care or ignore it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Didn't think about that. And going to them, granted, going to them guarantees they have a head start to counter you, and they can actively try to sabotage any disciplinary actions. All right, fair point. Solid. Did not think about that. So they said, our daughter just got home from school, and we haven't yet heard from the school. We asked if her teacher talked to her. He did. She said the teacher made the boy apologize and said they should be friends since they're classmates. See, this is what I be talking about. Like, why are we defending this? Like, they love defending. They love protecting a bully. Not just here. I have witnessed it here in my work, at my place of work. I've witnessed it. Like, this one time, there was a problem child. He was just like messing with everybody. And so I told the Japanese staff about it. And instead of pulling him aside, trying to correct his behavior, she told all of the kids. She addressed all of the kids and said something, I think along the lines of, everybody pay attention. Did the problem stop? Of course not, because we're not addressing the problem. We are just coddling and saying, oh, there, bully, you're okay. Huh? What? Yeah. So that's very frustrating to have witness and see in this situation. So OP says, hopefully that's not the solution, them being friends, as far as the teacher's concerned. What the actual F? Okay, so, all right, we have another update. And this update is really long, really long. But that's good because we like them long, okay? Yeah, we do. All right, so OP says, after the first incident, we had a phone meeting and then an in-person meeting with our daughter's teacher. According to the teacher, the student has a learning disability. So that's what we blaming. Okay. All right. So the student has a learning disability and acts out in class, usually because he's behind the class and can't keep up. These are 6-year-olds. I have to remember these are 6-year-olds. Okay. Ridiculous. So OP says the school's explanation was that they are aware of the issue and are trying to work with the child and his parents to teach him and help him adapt to school life. I don't know, it sounds like they need he needs behavioral therapy is what it sounds like. A learning disability, it sounds like an excuse for his bad behavior. And that's how they're treating it. And it's like, he needs behavioral therapy. That's what he needs. He needs, as a teacher and someone who used to be like a preschool teacher back in the States, they put children in our class who we were not equipped to handle, and of course not paying us properly. But I understand that the teacher is doing the best he can, but it is bullshit. Oh God, I hate this little girl going through this. So anyways, OP says, our impression from talking with the teacher is that he was also frustrated with the situation, but for whatever reason, probably the parents, he was going through the process and hoping the situation will resolve itself in time. In the meantime, he agreed to move our daughter as far away from this kid as possible and make sure there was no interaction between them. Well, that's good. I like that. For the last month, we've been making sure to asking our daughter for every day, how was class? And also making sure this kid doesn't talk to her at all. One note of the first incident, it happened right after English class. Our daughter is mostly bilingual, so she's way ahead of the class in that subject and often called on to help or answer questions. I thought I thought this is because this kid has a learning disability. Seeing other kids doing well in class angers him, and he then bullies that kid. That could be. That could be. So he was targeting her because she's smart. Make it make sense. Because it don't. It really don't. My God. Okay. Gotta take a breather because this is irritating me. And then there was today, English class day. Our daughter was called on to come up to the front of the class to play a game with a few other kids. And as she passed, this kid, he punched her several times on the leg and side. What is happening? And of course, I predict that nothing happened with that child. Like, he should be suspended, but I'm pretty sure nothing happened. Because of course, most likely the teacher didn't see it. My God. So anyways, he said he punched her several times in the leg and side. When she got home from class, she was quiet, but during bath time, my wife noticed bruising in those areas, and she told us what happened. Oh, Lord Jesus. Whew. Okay. So they say, OP says, we wrote a letter to the teacher, this time informing him of what's about to happen. Tomorrow morning, we're taking her to her doctor to get a Shindansho / medical certificate. From there, we're following a formal police report. He got, oh Jesus, I need to practice my Japanese. Higai Todoke, which is a police report. Okay, Nastasha. We tried to give this kid a little leeway and see if the school will resolve the situation, but we're done with that now. We will be pushing this as far as we can legally with the police, and if that doesn't resolve with the issue, we will look into possibly suing the parents / school for damages. Period. Sue them for everything they got. Alright, so let's look at some comments here. Okay, before we look at the comments, like, this just raised my blood pressure, because why is this child like this? Like, I really blame the parents. I kind of wish they would have confronted the parents or just talked to the parents just so we can get a little bit of more insight about this kid. And I understand, like, from what OP said, that they probably don't care, but I kind of want a confirmation that they don't care instead of just, like, I don't know, man. Because the parents low-key probably just, the husband probably work all day, every day. The wife probably miserable, taking care of this badass kid. Let me stop assuming. I don't know. But I kind of wish they would have talked to the parents just to see. Anyways, top comment. Good for you for going to the police station. You gave the school a chance. They didn't do their job. It's time to make some noise. A child being assaulted by a classmate is never acceptable, learning disability or not. That's what I'm saying. If this kid is violent, he should not be in regular classes. That's what I'm saying. Like, he needs behavioral therapy. He needs a special school. He needs that special bus, okay? That's what he needs. So people are like, yeah, go as far as necessary. And someone else said, let me see. Ooh, it's a long comment. All right, so someone commented, glad to hear that you're taking action. If there are security cameras at the school, please push the police to subpoena those records. Retention times can be anywhere between 14 days to 90 days, so it will be important to get on that right away. Also, I would try to give the teacher some grace. A lot of the problems I have personally experienced as a teacher is because of administration unwilling to take action to solve a problem. Then the teacher gets blamed for the problem. Yep, that's why I'm like, teacher probably doing the best he can do. I worked at a school once where I was ultimately let go in part because I was blamed for the violent behavior of a student. The student had a well-documented history of impulsive and violent behavior towards both teachers and students when they didn't get what they wanted. Yeah, they shouldn't be, but oh, Jesus. See, kids, this is so frustrating. It's a tale as old as time. I told them before I left that the student was a liability to the school, that the violent behavior would continue after my leave, and they would end up seriously hurting someone. I intentionally left out details to avoid identifying anyone involved, but I will say this was a battle I would never win. And this wasn't the first time administration of a school threw me under the bus. Damn. All that to say, please get surveillance camera footage and witness statements where possible. Administration will throw their teachers under the bus if the reputation is on the line. Good luck. Whew, I really hope, I hope they, that's no more updates. I hope that the issue was resolved. I hope the little girl is safe, and I hope that the parents actually do something to correct their child's behavior, because he is going to be a menace to society if it's not corrected. What the actual fuck? On a lighter note, the last story today, the title is kind of ridiculous, but it's from r/teaching in Japan. And so the person, OP, says, my boss is regulating the food that I buy. Huh? How does that work? Are they paying for the food you buy? Well, I guess technically if they're your boss, they are paying. So, I don't know. Let's find out. I'm not really sure where to post this. Delete if not allowed. I was given a serious ultimatum. Change my shopping habits or risk losing my job. What the hell? My time in Japan spans 4 years, starting with a big English school and later moving to a small company in a rural town. This school happens to be the only one of its kind in the area, and I stand out as the first non-Asian resident in years, and most other teachers coming from Southeast Asia. Things took an interesting turn when a group of my friends from Tokyo decided to stay with me for a few days during the summer break. Wanting to be a good host, I went shopping for them, picking up meat, beer, cheese, and snacks from the local market. I didn't think too much about it, just enough for 5 people for a few days. But the story gets more complicated when I went back to work. My boss, who was also the school owner, called me in for a meeting. She showed me photos taken of me while I was shopping. What? What in the invasive fuck? Oh God. So claiming they were taken by relatives of students. Huh? What caught their attention was the junk food and alcohol in my cart. She told me that if I really needed to buy these items, I should do it online, since I represent the school all the time. What? As if most people are not like out here drinking alcohol. As if most people in Japan are not functioning alcoholics. What do you mean? That is crazy. So, OP says, I tried to defend myself, especially since this was during the summer break. But my boss cut me off and warned me sternly that if this happens again, I'd be fired on the spot. If I had enough money saved, I would quit. But I just spent a lot on a plane ticket home this winter. Whew. This practice isn't normal, is it? No, it's not. It's not normal. It's freaking weird. There is no way that this is legal, right? No, I don't think that's legal. I don't know, but I don't think that's legal. I think it's ridiculous, is what that is. It's ridiculous. So, some comments. Tell her you would like that in writing so you can take it to the labor board. She will fuck off real quick. Period. That's good advice. Getting it in writing or straight up recording is definitely the move here. OP can also contact their nearest union, which in this case will be very helpful. That being said, the amount of energy spent and the absurdity of this case, I think it's best for OP to just find a new job. Yeah, because you're not about to tell me what I can and can't buy. Especially when you probably out there guzzling down some chew highs and stuff every night. What do you mean? So someone says, you're right, but seriously, OP responds, you are right, but seriously, my bank account only has 200,000 yen in it, not enough to move. They don't even have AT work around here. I don't know what AT is. So someone responded, true, but going to the labor board isn't that bad. I went there myself 2 weeks ago and it was quite a quick process. Yeah, OP, you don't have to take that. I mean, you kind of got to take that because you can get a lot of money. You need money, but jeez. So somebody else commented, somewhat unrelated question, but I never got the answer elsewhere. Is it legal to record conversations and stuff without consent here in Japan? Like, if I go into a meeting, am I allowed to record it? Good question. Someone answers, as far as I know, yes. How obvious you are going to be about it is up to you. Check Japan Life. I think I read about it in some posts over there. So they replied, thanks, I'll check it out. I haven't been in a situation where I think I need it, but I thought if I ever need to do it, I should know about the law. Yeah, low-key same. Like, do I need to? I don't need it. So they said, I feel you. I did it once and nothing bad came out of it. It was more for peace of mind. And honestly, I enjoyed seeing they get angry about it and not saying anything. Well, yeah, I guess you can. It is a fear tactic, that's for sure. All right, so, I think we got to. Yeah, so that was a ridiculous ultimatum of their boss. Like, what the hell? If my boss ever told me, actually, I can't even say that because my boss is not going to ever say anything like that to me. Like, they're just not going to do that to me. Like, the respect is there. But anyways, I think we got time for one more little snippet. It's not really a story, just a bit of advice, also from r/teaching in Japan. So, OP says, please, I'm begging you, use your vacation days. I overheard someone at a recent ALT meeting mention that they never use their vacation days because the Japanese teachers don't. And I think that's ridiculous. Okay, no. Don't be like that guy. There is so much to unpack here. Number 1, you are not a Japanese teacher. Number 2, if you're a dispatch worker, then the Japanese teachers are full-time benefits, regular bonuses, and higher pay. You get none of that, which is crazy. Well, I don't get none of that either, so... I cried. Number 3, if you don't use your vacation days, you lose them. My company applies unused vacation days to the next contract, but they will always use them on days I wouldn't be working anyway, so they're basically wasted. Most importantly, no one gives a damn if you take time off. You have them given to you by law. Use them. I wish I got time off or vacation days. My contract, I don't even get those. Dang. I'm rethinking my life. No, I'm not, because I have freedom. So I'd rather have freedom to say no and freedom to go where I want and close lessons if they're not booked and go home early if I want versus having some time off. And I can actually take a day off if I don't want to work. It's unpaid, but it is what it is. Anyways, somebody responds, commenter says, yep, if you have them, use them. I haven't been dispatching over a decade, but ever since I started working in high school, I take all 20 every year. You get 20 paid holidays? That's what's up. Midterms and finals are the easiest times to use them up. Also, days near the end of the term tend to be easy. If I don't use them, they carry over to the next year, but cap off at 40. Anyways, take your days off because it is your right. Yeah, definitely do that, people, especially if you're listening to this. I actually found another story. It's also advice for new people coming to Japan. And it's, again, from r/teaching in Japan. Wow, I didn't realize how many screenshots I have for this episode. That's crazy. All right, so they say, PSA, think twice about 29.5-hour work week contracts. So this is someone giving advice. So since we're in hiring season, I wanted to warn all the new teachers out there. If your contract says you will work 29.5 hours a week, think really hard before you sign it. Almost every single company that contracts you for 29.5 hours will actually demand you work more. Yikes. It's not uncommon for teachers in these contracts to actually be working 40 hours per week. No, you will not get paid for it. Ooh, okay. I've heard about this. Companies like to contract you for 29.5 hours to get out of paying your Shakai Hoken, social insurance, They will call the 5 to 10 minute between your classes non-duty hours. They say non-duty hours. Even though you are preparing for the next class, i.e. working. They may have even given you insufficient time to prepare for lessons and try to demand that you work unpaid overtime to prepare for those lessons. This is incredibly illegal, yet it is very hard for you to prove if you labor offices that they are doing it. If a company slates you for 29.5 hours, then honestly, it's very likely that they will be cheating you in other ways as well. That is true. For example, demanding extremely long amounts of warning before you resign, say 2 to 3 months. That is ridiculous. And 2 weeks? You get 2 weeks. You get 2 weeks. Are you inexperienced? Don't know how to teach? Can't speak a lick of the language? No matter what, a company cheating you out of pay is absolutely unacceptable. Yes, I love this, OP. Tell them. Accepting these jobs hurts more than just you. It allows the companies to continue abusing their foreign workers. So think twice about it. But in the end, it's up to you. You understand your situation better than anyone. If you have no other choice, by all means sign on. But remember to value yourself, because the company won't. Period. This is solid advice. Yeah, solid advice. So, yeah, I don't have anything else to say to that. Some comments. They're not going to get away with it after October 2022. Oh, I forgot to mention this post is old as hell. This post is from 3 years ago. So they said if you make over 88,000 yen a month on that date next year, they must provide Shakai Hoken. However, this is school students. Oh, okay. Very interesting. I'm excited for this change to Soapy. But have a few questions. Okay, I'm not reading all that. Yeah, I'm not reading all that. Oh, yes, I am. I am reading all that. Yeah, so OP says, very interesting. I'm excited for this change, but have a few questions. For example, in the article someone posted, it is saying the company has to have at least 100 employees. Most Eikaiwas don't even have 50, and the larger companies have a habit of splitting into several legally separate companies, that is true, branches to avoid this as they've done before of other laws. Oh, wow. See, people is really just getting over. They're really just getting over. So, all right, that's pretty much it. Take the advice. I don't know anything about the 29.5 hours a work week, but I just realized that this last story is like 3 years old, so maybe things have changed. I don't know. If you are an English teacher who works at a contracted school, feel free to chime in to see if they still offer those contracts. If they do still offer those contracts, don't take the contract. Like the man said, or the woman said, like the OP said. Don't do that, because you need to value yourself and your own work, and you need to get paid for what you work for, you know? Anyways, that pretty much wraps up this episode of Sensei Say What Now? Thank you guys so much for watching. Also, if you haven't, please like, comment, subscribe. In the back of my mind, before even filming this, I was thinking I want to insert that throughout the video, but I was just so focused on these stories that I forgot to even remind you guys. But here we are at the end. Just friendly, gentle reminder. Please like, comment, subscribe. Onegai shimasu. That would just make me so happy. Anyways, that's all. Okay, bye.